Our next guest will weigh in on U.S.-China tech competition, on tariffs, on AI, and more. Joining us now, former U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. She's a Council on Foreign Relations Distinguished Fellow. You're in Munich right now, is that right? Welcome.
I am. Good morning.
Why Munich is the new Davos? We need to see what Joe thinks about it. Munich apparently is Davos for the foreign policy set, Madam Secretary, yeah. And they say no fewer than 6 Democratic presidential primary candidates are going to be there to kind of make a speech that might be a counterpoint to what we heard from J.D. Vance last year. So what might we hear? What do you think is the counter message there about U.S. policy?
Well, I think the most important message is that America is stronger when we work with our allies. You know, America has to be a reliable partner to allies. And it's so important. That's why I'm here, to, foot stomp that message. The other message that I plan to deliver later on today is economic security is just as important as military might. That is secure supply chains, leading in artificial intelligence, leading in biotech and quantum. We know, for example, that China is ready, willing, and able to weaponize their critical minerals, rare earths, and supply chain. And so the way to make the U.S. stronger and the world safer is for the United States to work with allies to make sure that we are winning the AI race and our supply chains are secure. That's economic security. So that'll be the message that I'm delivering later today in a talk and throughout the weekend.
Madam Secretary, it's Robert Frank. When you were head of commerce, you helped pioneer the AI Safety Institute. There's been a whole string of apocalyptic warnings from former AI people, including this post from Matt Schumer. I don't know if you've seen it, saying that the experience that tech workers have had over the past year, watching AI go from helpful tool to does my job better than I do, is the experience everyone else is about to have. What do you think government's role should be right now in this transition to AI, which could wipe out a huge number of white-collar jobs?
Look, that's a very real concern, and we have to be on top of it with urgency. I would say we have to address that issue with as much urgency and innovation as we are putting into the development of AI itself. Now, my strong view is the solution isn't to slow down AI or slow down AI innovation. I just said we're in a tech competition with China. We want to stay ahead. But the reality is right now in the U.S., our workforce system isn't ready to handle the disruption of AI. And what I want to make sure of is that we're there for people. We have to bring everybody along in America. Americans want to work. They want to have a dignified, good-paying job, and they deserve that. That's how you take care of your family. So we have to make sure that companies step up and lead through this transition. Government gets much more innovative about the way we train people, providing for people to be retrained and redeployed, and frankly, to provide a cushion for people to get through this transition. I firmly believe, on the other side of the transition, however many years from now, an AI economy will be a good, prosperous, healthy economy. But the transition, which is what killed us during the China shock, we have to be very aware of it and on top of it so the bottom doesn't fall out for millions of Americans.
Do you think China is ahead of the U.S. in any parts of AI development right now, or are they close?
What's interesting? China is ahead in the diffusion, in the number of people and the number of companies using AI. And I believe it relates directly to the issue you just talked about. In China, the Chinese government tells businesses it's okay for you to use AI, but every person who you lay off, you're responsible for finding them another job. So as a result, the average Chinese person isn't afraid. They're not as afraid as the average American is. And so what do you think happens? They're using it more, and there's a greater adoption. And so back to the point you said before, we have to give Americans security that they're going to be taken care of. There's going to be a job there for them. And if we do that, they'll use it more, and then we can continue to lead.
I know the power bills, we're just talking about that issue, that they're not going to be sky high. Obviously, that's a big concern still over in Europe is energy supplies. Secretary Raimondo, thanks for making the time. Really appreciate it this morning.